Want to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons. Thank you so much for all of the continued support. Hey everybody, so it is the last day of the month, and that means it's time for my December recap video. I'm going to be giving a little bit of a life update, talking about my channel updates, going over my channel and reading stats, a recap of the books that I read, and then go over the books that I was sent. So the Discord server continues to grow. If you're not there, you should be. It's where the community hangs out in between my videos, and I'd love to have you. You'll get sneak peeks of my videos beforehand. You'll get access to my TBR contest beforehand. You get to vote on what the buddy read's going to be. Join in on the buddy reads. It's really fun, and you should be there, even if you've never used Discord before, especially if you've never used Discord before, check it out. We're now at about 2,170 people, which is up from almost exactly 100 from last month. So join now. Link is at the bottom in the description. So going over some life updates. I think the big one that I forgot to mention last month, I don't know how, but I got a new puppy. We got a Cocker Spaniel puppy, probably about 3 or 4 months old now. Probably 4 months old. Really cute. Kids love him. I love the dog. It's going really well, although potty training's been a struggle. So that's the struggle that I'm going through at the moment, is trying to get this dog not to go to the bathroom in the house. And the fact that this dog has not a crazy amount of energy, likes to cuddle a lot, but always wants to be in your lap or hanging out right next to you. He's my little reading buddy. But he can't go on walks yet because he has to get his parvo shots. Parvo is like this really bad disease dogs can get, and you have to get vaccinated for them. And so he has to get the last shot next week, and then he might have to wait like 2 more weeks, but I'm dying to be able to take this dog on walks to get the energy out, because it's really hard to get the energy out inside the house. Moving on, my indoor soccer team. So I coach my daughter's 7-year-old girls soccer team. We had an undefeated season. It's rec soccer, so not like crazy competitive, but our outdoor season we were undefeated, and now in indoor we've won 3 in a row. So super fun. It's indoors really fun. Previously in my outdoor soccer, I coach in the middle of this little alleyway, and then there's 2 games going on at the same time. They play 4-on-4, and 4-on-4 is really cool because the girls get a lot more touches than if you played a full game, and it lets them learn the game a lot faster. But as a coach, I'm having to watch 2 games at the same time and managing the subs, and I don't really even get to watch. I'm just constantly trying to manage the bench and get the subs in. But now in indoor, it's 8-on-8, and I get to watch the whole thing. And the action's so much higher because the game never stops, and the girls get so much more tired. And my daughter actually comes home out of energy, which is wonderful. Kind of like the dog conversation. Always good to wear your dog out. Always good to wear your kids out. And indoors really helping for that. So really fun. Don't know if we'll stand defeated. There's another team that is just destroying everybody. Haven't played them yet, but we'll see what happens when we get to that point. So last month I talked about I'm having this smelling problem where I can only smell bad smells. It's a result of me having a bad cold, but it's been going on for 3 months now. It's getting a little bit better. I got a CAT scan, and they found nothing, which I think is good when you get a CAT scan. I didn't have cancer or anything, which is awesome, but they don't know what the problem is, and they don't know how to fix it. So they said I'm supposed to do these smelling training where I smell these specific smells, but it's gotten a little bit better. I would say that most days I don't have the bad smell, I just don't really have much of a smell at all. So I guess it's really, 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 really slowly getting better. It doesn't feel substantially better. But anyways, Christmas just ended. It's so fun having Christmas when you have little kids. A 7-year-old and 5-year-old, and the magic is just full bore. They're totally bought into every little thing. It's so fun. It's so fun. But fun for me too. I got a couple awesome gifts. One of which I got a new e-reader. So I've always read a Kindle Paperwhite. I've loved it. But I switched over to a Kobo Ellipsa 2E. It's a tablet size, but the beauty of it is that it has a stylus pen, and you can literally write over the text, write in the margins. I used to love writing in my physical books. It was really really fun, especially on complicated, like, epic fantasies. I love keeping notes of where the characters have been, the details of everybody, keeping track on everything. It helped my comprehension so much more, too, especially something like Malazan or Stormlight or things where there's a lot going on at the same time. But now having that, it's just brought back more fun in reading than I have been having, and I didn't realize until I got this and how much I was missing out. And really fun. I love, like, showing where everybody is on the map and, like, tracking their journey and, like, drawing over the map. It's so awesome. I love it, love it, love it. 𝐿𝐵𝐵𝐸. Mwah. Also got some cool tech that I have not debuted on this channel yet, but if you remember my old videos, not a ton of you remembers back then, but my old videos, I used to take it while I was sitting at my computer, and you couldn't see fully the bookshelves. It was like a bunch of white space too, bad mic, video quality was like a lame webcam. It was all bad. But when I do my live streams, that's what I have to use because I can't live stream from this awesome camera setup that I have now. But I got this cool device that allows me to stream from this camera that you're seeing right now. And like this dummy battery where normally a nice camera like this, the battery would zap in like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. But this like is a fake battery that just plugs into the wall. And so I'll be able to just stream from exactly like I'm doing it right now. I'm waiting on a couple more things. I'm getting like a little, like what's going on right now is like the camera is like 5 feet in front of me. But I want to be able to like have the computer so to watch it so I can follow comments. And so what I'm getting is a little like standing foldable little desk thing, not desk, like a, I don't know, like a tray that goes right under the stand for my my camera. So that'll be my computer. And then I'm going to have another stand right here. And that's going to be for my mouse, a wireless mouse. And so I'll be able to like kick through comments, talk just like this. And what I want to do is do more live streams, first of all, of just me kind of talking and going over, you know, shooting the S with you. But I also want to maybe start doing some interviews with authors. You know, I had a really good time doing the interview with 𝐼𝐸 recently, although it was not live. I had a lot of fun. And I have a lot of questions that I'd love to do. Part of my life is politics. I've done a lot of opposition research on candidates. I'm really good at digging up stuff. So that could be really fun, bringing that kind of little skill that I have into interviews, bringing up, you know, a lot of things that have never been asked to authors because I can dig and know where to dig. So that could be a lot of fun, and I'll be able to do it from this nice looking camera that we have now. So that'll be cool. So should have that all within about a week, and then I'll start debuting it on some live streams, and then I'll start scheduling some author interviews from there. This past month, we did another buddy read of The Will of the Many by James Islington. Super fun. Loved it. Love the book. I gave it 5 stars. Most people in the Discord did. It's all in the Discord, so join that. And the style that we do for the buddy reads is like 50 pages a day or so, and we have a daily discussion on whatever chapters were assigned for that day. So, you know, most, you know, book reads, you either finish the book and then you talk about it, or you talk about it in chunks, and not everybody's on the same page. This way, we all, you know exactly what we're talking about. It's very specific, and it's really fun. There's dozens of people involved. This coming month, we'll do another one, and I'll announce that tomorrow in my TBR video. This month I have been playing mainly 3 video games. I've been playing a lot of Madden 24. I love Madden, but I always get it later in the season when it's like $20, and so I wait because I'm cheap. So I picked it up when it hit like $20, and I've been liking it a lot. And my 49ers have been doing really good this year, so it makes me a lot more excited to play all of the characters that I love. I've been replaying L.A. Noire. I just love that game. But going through it, I always play it every 5 or so years when I kind of forget a little bit about it. So yeah, super fun. And then I also got my kids Mario Wonder for Christmas. And I've been playing that a lot, and it's awesome. I love, one of my favorite games of all time is Super Mario World on SNES. Like top 5 favorite games of all, or most like impactful games to me in my life. And that just brings all the feelings back that I had when I played that game for the first time. So yeah, just awesome. So let's move to the reading stats. This month I read a year low for a month in 7 books. Read about 4,500 pages, which was down 250 from normal. That brings my yearly total to 110 books and 57,823 pages. So very happy about that. My goal is always 50,000 pages and 100 books. So exceeded that by a good amount. So go me. The average score this year for the books that I scored was 3.72, which is down from the previous year, Don't love that trend, but we'll see if we can get that right-sized in 2024. Maybe that'll be my New Year's resolution. The views this month were 114,000, which is up 20,000, one of my best months I've ever had. The hours watched was 14,000, which is up 2,000. And the subs this month was 769, which is up 189. The number one video this month with about 15,000 views was the best fantasy or sci-fi book published in 2023, according to 73 YouTubers. The number two video with about 8,000 views was my top 10 underrated books that I read in 2023. And the number three video with about 5,000 views was the top 10 most disappointing books that I read in 2023. I do a lot of top 10 videos at the end of the year to kind of recap the year. I don't normally do that many. I have more coming out, actually, I think. No, I'm going to do a big video soon where I do like 30 seconds on every single book that I read and rank every book that I read for the year. A lot of fun, drives me insane, but it should be fun for you. So let's go to the books that I read this month and recap them. The first book was Dragonfly Falling. This is the second book in the Shadows of the Apt series by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I predicted I'd give it a 5, and I indeed gave it a 5. And it was the second best book that I read this month. This series is so criminally underrated. It's crazy. I mean, this has everything you'd want in an epic fantasy with multiple POVs, just a sprawling story with political intrigue, really interesting... I don't know about, I want to say magic system, but really interesting like fantasy elements with these different, really unique bug-style people, and they all have different kind of bugs that they're associated with, dragonfly people and spider people and all these different things, and they have different traits associated with them. It sounds kind of gimmicky. It's not super well written. Love everything about this series. More people need to read this thing, and you'll hear me talking about it because I'm kind of committed now to read all 10 of these things. I don't know if I'll finish it this year because of how slowly I read my books. Spaced out, I guess is the better word. But we'll see. But I'm loving every single thing about this series. Number two was The Gate of the Feral Gods. This is the fourth book in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series by Matt Dinniman. I predicted I'd give it a 4, but I gave it a 3. It was the worst Dungeon Crawler Carl book in my opinion. It just did so many things wrong. Dungeon Crawler Carl, for those of you that don't know, is this lit RPG progression fantasy story where there's this guy Carl, and he has to go through these dungeons to try to save Earth. Everybody on Earth is fighting to progress further. Everybody's dying, killing each other. It's very morbid, but also very funny. Weird combo there. But this fourth book just got kind of weird. There's too much going on. Sometimes books can fail when they try too much. This book definitely, maybe the hallmark for trying too much. I wanted a little more narrow, specific, with very achievable goals, less characters that we get to spend more time with instead of these, like, spend 5 pages with them and then they're gone. But I'm still excited to read the next one in the next coming month. Next up was Tower Lord. This is the second book in the Raven's Shadow series. The first book is the one everybody kind of knows, and it's Blood Song. But not a lot of people know about that it's actually a series, and the author is Anthony Ryan. I basically give it a 3, and I ended up giving it a 2.5. So I love the first one. The first one is one of the best books that I read this year. But I predicted a 3 because everybody says that the series kind of sucks after that. They're kind of right. It's not the same book. I suggest Blood Song to everybody, and I still do. Blood Song should be read as a standalone. It can be read as a standalone. The plot just kind of ends in a perfect spot to be a standalone. Now, there are some threads that, could, have to be teased out a little bit, but, not everything needs to have this, like, nice little bow tie on it at the end of a book, but it's set up so nicely to be done. But it just goes on and introduces more characters, makes it multi-POV instead of single POV. The story's just not quite the same, and very, very disappointing. Next up, speaking of disappointing, was Cersei by Madeline Miller. I predicted a 4, and I gave it a 1. This gets the notable distinction of being the worst book that I read this month, and the worst surprise that I got this month, because I thought a 4 and I got a 1. Doesn't get a lot worse than that. I just hated it. What can I say? It was I don't even know what to say about it without getting upset, but it's like this retelling of a Greek story, ancient Greek story, that botches it in every way, in my opinion, not everybody's, but it just messes up the actual Greek history. It's a boring tale that's just all over the place. Cersei's just miserable. I hated everything that the book was trying to do. It made me very angry. And I truly don't understand what people got out of this thing when they read it and they enjoyed it. But I've heard from somebody that this is like one of those TikTok darling books, and nothing against TikTok. My wife loves it. Tons of people love it. You probably love it. I don't. Not because I don't think I love it. I just don't have it. I haven't tried it. I'm not into that short form content, really. But it's one of those darlings. And there seems to be this divide between what like booktubers on YouTube are into and then what like TikTok book reviewers are into. And every time I read one of these TikTok books, I hate it. So I need to stop doing that. I need to research a little bit about what this thing is before I read it, because that did not work. Then I read, speaking of books that didn't work, The House of Earth and Blood, which is the first book in the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas, my first Sarah J. Maas book, and my last. I predicted a 1. I gave it a 2. And it gets the award for the best surprise of the month, which is crazy that I'd give a 2-star the best surprise, but I truly thought it would be one of the worst books I ever read. It was better than that. I didn't like it, but I certainly didn't hate it. Had good things going for it. It was just told in a very annoying way. Had a good plot. Especially the first third of it was wonderful. Really, really, really good plot. But then it just drags out too long. The romance is not great, but not horrible. It's not really that much of a romance book. There's a romance element to it, but it's more of a fantasy story. It's just written in a way that I look at poorly. Just curse words every single page, really edgy writing, and a plot that is hundreds and hundreds of pages too long, that just meanders and meanders and meanders. This book was picked for me from my Patreon raffle. So every month on Patreon, I spin a wheel and people get to put a book in the raffle. Whatever it lands on, I have to read. This one won it. Hopefully next month is a little bit better. Then I read The Will of the Many. This is part of the Hierarchy series by James Islington. I predicted a 4. I gave it a 5, and this is the best book that I read this month, and easily a top 10 best book that I read this year, and the best book that I read that was published in 2023. So banger of a book with The Will of the Many. This is a Roman-inspired fantasy story that I've never heard those terms combined together, but it's great. Really, really great. And it's a nice mystery, really fun political intrigue. James Islington has totally redeemed himself from the 𝐒𝐿𝐵𝐵𝐵 trilogy. I did not love the first book from that. And he's turned into an author with a must-buy. Day 1, if I could go day 0 buy, I would definitely get the second book in The Will of the Many when it comes out, hopefully next year. And the last book that I read this month was Death's End. This is the final book in the Remembrance of Earth's Past trilogy, more commonly known as the Three Body Problem trilogy. This is by Zhixin Liu. I predicted a 5, gave it a 4. I ultimately think it's the second best book in the trilogy. It had such a good first half of the book. Truly spectacular. Easy 5 stars. But the second half was a 3 stars. So averaged out to a 4. I'm just disappointed because you always want the end of a trilogy to be, or end of a series to really bring it home. It didn't. And what frustrated me is I felt like the series could have ended halfway through and it would have been perfect. But it just brought in this new act that didn't need to be there. And I would probably be more sour on a series that had a really bad ending, in my opinion. But because there was so much there, and it's almost like these big events that will be really impactful to me in my life, and I'll always think about, that I'll always still really think positively of this series. So that's it for the books that I read. Now let's go to the books that were sent to me. I got a fair amount of them. So I always tell authors when they reach out to me to read their book, I say no. However, if you want to send me a copy, I'm free. I'll be happy to promote it for free, show the cover off, read the back cover, and give you a little bit of screen time. And so that's what I'm going to do right now. First up, are these the same series? They look similar. I don't think they are. So I'll read them individually. They're not. All right. So first up is City in the Dragon's Eye. This is book 1 of the Dragonreich by Jordan Loyal Short. And the back cover says, to save his friends from a deadly ambush, Victor drew too deeply on the power of the dragon well, and now a magical tumor has begun to change him, one scale at a time. Victor sets off on a quest for a cure that will lead him to a remote sanitarium. Here he will uncover a mad doctor's strange experiments, a very stubborn dwarf, and rumors of an ancient mirror that may hold the key to Victor's very survival. As a secret society of dragon fanatics closed in, Victor must choose between the power his transformation offers and the something, something, something. I can't read it because it has this bar over it. It says that not for resale. To the fabled tyrant's tomb, Victor races the mysterious 𝐒𝐿 Society, where deadly traps and cryptic puzzles protect a treasure of unspeakable power. With every heartbeat, the tumor's corruption spreads. Next up is Reynard the Fox. This is by David R. Widenowski. In a city full of thieves, there are none better than the wily Reynard, a cat burglar, con artist, and a master of disguise who preys on the wealthy and powerful. But even a man of Reynard's talents can make a mistake, especially when there's a beautiful woman involved. Now, Reynard must embark upon a perilous expedition to steal a fabled gem, accompanied by a motley crew of mercenaries, pirates, and hired killers, each of whom could prove to be deadlier than the voyage itself, and none more so than the mysterious 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐵, a cold-hearted warrior whose swordsmanship is second to none. That actually sounds kind of badass. All right, moving on to Legends of Celosia, Book 1, Origins, Moonlight Soldier. I have no idea which is the book title, what is the series, but that's all it says there. Back cover. I love these. Back covers are a little shorter than normal. It's great. Lethia was a simple village girl living with her mother and selling medicine between the twin towns of Florian and Hunter's Den. However, a chance encounter with a werewolf throws her through a portal to hell where she is transformed into a demonic lycanthrope with fiery powers. A hellbound. To make matters more complicated, she quickly learns that her transformations are triggered by her very emotions. With the aid of her uncle Taliesin and the friendship of a hired blacksmith, Millie, Lethia must discover the depth of her powers while keeping her identity a secret. Political intrigue stirs, and the manifestation of her powers can only bring unwanted attention from powerful names. Names? Names. Got a few more here. Next up is Help, My Dog is the Chosen One by Ronit J. All right, this sounds dope. Look at that cover. Wait, can you see it? It's pretty funny. All right. Kunal is just your average guy living on rent in Mumbai. Working from home and suffering from anxiety. His world is turned upside down when his girlfriend asks him to foster a rescued street dog. Despite his qualms, he agrees because what's the worst that can happen? That's when the extra-dimensional Dark Lord attacks. The dog is the only one who can stop the Dark Lord, but he can't do it without Kunal's help. Can Kunal overcome his many anxieties, or will the world suffer for eternity? All right. Wait. I might have to read Help, My Dog is Chosen. It's not often a book can get me to laugh. All right, I've got 3 more. All right, The Flight of the Eternal Emperor by James Rogers, a novel. Back cover is Jessique Debrone, newly graduated avionics engineer, is eager to make the most of her unexpected past in the Imperial Defense Forces, a position she recognizes as the ideal launching pad for a subversive career. Ironically, her transmission of classified information to the rebels in the North results in her inclusion in a top-secret mission. Inclusion is very different than exclusion. But Jessique doesn't buy the official line that she and her crewmates are aboard an interstellar spacecraft embarking upon a 30-light-year journey to a sister planet. She believes that the heavily armed armor craft is in fact a secret weapons platform, with its sights set on the troublesome tribes in the North. The presence of secretive magicians and their unfathomable technologies only serves to increase her mistrust. Dessler, the Eternal Emperor, and the focus of Jessique's hatred, is demented, paranoid, and all-powerful. It's a really bad combo. Though he is arrogant of the fact, physical death for him is but a step to omnipotent carnage and chaos. How does one go about destroying such a monster? One magician believes he has the answer, and the interstellar voyage is the culmination of the centuries-long machinations. Jessique unwittingly steps in the path of the sorcerer's hurtling train and almost derails it. Kind of feels like we got the entire book there, but maybe it's like the first chapter and it goes fast. 2 more. The Phoenix and the Ant by SMVL Trudeau. In the kingdom of Jat, D-J-A-T, is that Jat? Djat? Where magic is an unforgivable crime, T, an adventurous young girl, accidentally learns she has it. The power to transform into a phoenix. That's dope. Her father, a famed Jat general, sends her across the shattered continent to Patasnia. These are a D followed by a J for Jat, and then a P followed by a T for Tunisia. Okay, to escape capture. T's journey isn't just about mastering her powers. It's an odyssey of self-discovery and the yearning for a home. As she faces challenges and embraces alliances, T's story weaves magic, adventure, and the timeless quest for self-realization. Join T as she soars the skies, battles pirates, and unravels buried mysteries. In this captivating tale, magic and destiny collide. Will T's power save 𝐿𝐴𝐼𝐸 or ignite a fire that consumes all? All right, last up. Almost there. It's a box. I don't know what's in it. I don't know who sent it to me, but it's very nice. All right, let's look at it. All right, we got a bunch of stuff in here. Starting with a card. What's the card say? Oh, it's artwork. Doop, doop. Kind of looks like Cersei Lannister. All right, that's pretty cool. Another card, more artwork, I'm assuming. Kind of. It's a bookmark. My daughter loves bookmarks, so thank you, whoever sent this. And some pretty dope artwork. All right, next is a little binder, a calendar. I've never been sent a calendar. Okay. But this, okay, this, so... The Princess of Selgrove and the High King by Bryce Gibby. Okay, thank you, Bryce. You're killing it. You're killing it in your packaging, Bryce. All right. Then we have, what is this, a candle? Bryce. All right, we got a candle. Ooh, I can smell it. My nose. Look, if you're able to make a smell that I can smell, you're doing good, because I have a smelling problem. Soy candles and wax melts. All right. This guy's killing it. Got a couple little cute flowers inside the packaging, and the book itself. The Princess of Selgrove and the High King, Book 1 by Bryce Gibby. Bryce, nice work. That cover. Princess Vivian's idyllic life is shattered when Saxons invade her sire's kingdom. So long had the Selgrovians enjoyed peace, they are ill-prepared and are quickly conquered by the barbarians. Her father slain. Alone, Vivian is forced to flee to the hidden sanctuary of the mountain. Her journey is extremely perilous as the Saxons search out every road and trail, seeking to capture the princess and obtain a vital secret that she possesses. To evade her enemies, she must rely on wit, cunning, and the help of the enigmatic sage, the immortal Hawk. Destined for a purpose far greater than she can imagine, Vivian is empowered to establish a realm of unearthly majesty where warriors are secretly trained as skilled and chivalrous knights. The sage, known by his foes as the magician, foretells of the rise of young Arthur, a resistance fighter who will raise an army of knights, defeat the invaders, and be crowned High King of Britannia. Yet these prophecies are dependent on Vivian, her men of war, the secret she guards with her life, and above all else, the inspiration of her love. The Princess of Selgrove and the High King is a thrilling tale of adventure, magic, romance, and destiny. Set against the backdrop of ancient Britain, fans of epic fantasy and the historical fiction will be swept away by this tale of a young princess who risks everything to save her kingdom and fulfill her destiny. All right. That's it for me. We're almost at 30 minutes, and that's when my camera shuts off. So let's end this before that happens. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned tomorrow for my TBR video and join that contest. I want you to join. I want you to win. And as always, happy reading to you. Thanks again to all my patrons, with a special shout out to my Ascendant tier and Librarian tier patrons: Anna G, CJ, Doust, Darren, Gregory, Jonathan, Nathan T, Nev's Book Channel, 𝐿𝐴𝐼𝐸, Ron Reich, Russell, Ryan L, Sydney Baker, Tay C, Tahir, Anna, Andra, Blair, Brock, Evan, Fanixan, Harry B, Joe, Cat Mick, Michael Sugarman, Philippe, Sky, TW57, Wacky, and Zion. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video, and if you want to watch some more content from my channel, click over here and I've got some good videos for you. Thanks so much.